YouTube, thanks for checking out The Film Geek. Normally, I like to do movie spotlights where I talk about films and give you a little bit of a nugget of knowledge. Today, I want to do something a little bit different. I'm going to start something new with...
Hey, what happened?
To this movie. Now, this is something where I'm going to take a film and I'm going to kind of break it down a little bit and try to figure out why this movie bombed at the box office or why audiences just didn't like it. So today, I'm talking about the 2010 film, The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
We must first turn you into a sorcerer, which begins now. Step back.
I really was doing stuff.
Eyes open. Mouth closed.
The Sorcerer's Apprentice is directed by Jon Turteltaub, and it's starring Nicolas Cage, Ja Burakil, and Alfred Molina. An ancient sorcerer searches centuries to find his apprentice, the Chosen One, to help him destroy an evil sorcerer who's trying to take over the world. The basic idea for this film was mostly Nicolas Cage's, who wanted to explore a mystical world and play a character with magical powers, and following a suggestion from his producer friend Todd Gaynor, decided to make a feature-length film based upon the Fantasia segment of the same name. The only references in the film to the original source material include a scene where Dave, the main character, played by Jay Ballaru, animates mops to clean his laboratory, and then a post-credit scene where you see Mickey Mouse's hat. However, in my opinion, this reenactment just doesn't work. It doesn't fit in the film. It just really feels shoehorned in. Just like a wink and the nod kind of thing, like, look at that, we did the thing. The film was released July 15th, 2010 in the States, and it grossed $215.3 million on a $150 million budget, but it's also estimated that after marketing costs, the film probably just broke even. Critics also ate this movie alive, and it's currently sitting on Rotten Tomatoes at a 40%. Most critics did like the cast, however the film they felt was just missing a lot of substance. Sure, it was a real big CGI spectacle, but other than that, the film was kinda hollow. This isn't necessarily a lie. The film is lacking in a lot of substance, and it is the tired old trope of the Chosen One. But one thing this film has in droves is tons of fun. This is a popcorn film. It's not supposed to be taken seriously. You're just supposed to be able to sit down, turn this sucker on, turn your brain off, and enjoy a film that you can watch with, pretty much the entire family. So,
Hey, what happened?
to this movie. The first thing this film had against it was it never found its target audience, and that was families and children. Instead, the film actually pulled in more audiences in the 25 and up category. And the problem there was that people in that age group did want a little bit more substance to their story than this film was offering them. If it would have hit its target market, it probably would have been a huge success. But it didn't, it just somehow missed them, and I could not find any reason on why that happened. One of the things that could have led to it was the fact, at the time this film was released, Toy Story 3 was still in theaters, and as we all know, that thing made a ton of money. And in the weekend before, Despicable Me had been released, and again, that movie did extremely well at the box office. So then here comes The Sorcerer's Apprentice, another family adventure film, and well, the families just didn't show up. The teen demographic didn't show up for this film either, and that was another one they were going for. However, that demographic was probably still busy watching Twilight Eclipse, and a little movie came out the same weekend as Sorcerer's Apprentice called Inception. So these factors, and the fact that this film was just another Chosen One storyline, could have been the things that led to this film bombing at the box office. So now, what do I like about this movie? It's just a plain good time. Yeah, the story doesn't have a lot of substance, but for a movie like this, I don't think that you really need a lot of substance. This is just one of those big CGI, blown out special effects kind of movies, and it does it really well. The film's pacing is also really good. It's an action film, so it doesn't really slow down a whole lot. The one problem I have with the pacing, though, is at the very beginning of the film. They try to stuff way too much knowledge of this universe into a very short amount of time. And honestly, if they would have just taken out that whole scene with the mops and all, they probably could have explained the movie a little bit better. The main casting in this film is also really good. Nicolas Cage does a much more subdued performance than he normally does, so if you're expecting your crazy off-the-wall Nick Cage Cage kind of performance, this movie doesn't really have it. Jay Bowerkill also does a great job as the Apprentice in this film. I feel like he might have been a little too old at the time to play the part. He was 29 in the filming of this, and the character's supposed to be around 1920, and it kind of shows, but it's not terrible. He's a good actor, his comedic timing is just fine, and he works for that nerdy, geeky kind of science guy part. Alfred Molina plays the villain of this story, and like always, when you need a villain, you call Alfred Molina. That's just what you do. So if you're curious and you would like to check out The Sorcerer's Apprentice and you have a Disney Plus membership, good news! You've probably already seen it on there and went, what the hell is this? Go ahead and check it out. You and your entire family will probably enjoy it. For everyone else, however, you can rent it on Vudu, YouTube, Google Movies, and Prime. Okay guys, that brings us to the end of another Film Geek video. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and go ahead and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. Now if there's one more thing you could do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.